Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. As we end the month of July, we begin a new era of Cardinals baseball, as the Cardinals have completed their trade deadline by dealing three pitchers. And here we are.
So Mozilla goes out the way he's always been, doing the bare minimum.
In like a lion. Oh, no, in like a lamb, right? Is that what it was? In like a lamb, out like a lion, in like a lion, out like a lamb, out like a lamb. That's what we're going to go with.
I
Out
don't think
like
it,
a lamb.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think it
yeah.
matters.
Pretty, it's just it's once again, like, here's the thing. We can get into the prospects they got back. That's fine. We'll do that in a little bit. It's just once again just a taste. Like, it's just always just a taste. It's never the full meal. It's never the full cocktail. It's never the full beer. It's just like, here, you get a little taste. It's like a bad buffet with John Mozeliak.
Yeah, I'm looking. Sorry, I was looking at these. I was looking at these pitchers they just acquired. One of them's in high A, and the other one seems to just be bad. So I don't know, but I just don't understand what this deadline did for them. Like
Well,
the Ryan Helsley deal, which obviously we'll get to the individual deals at some
right.
point. But that one, like I guess those guys, like I don't know anything about those guys to be honest. But some people really like the shortstop they got, some people don't. It's just we'll see. He's 20 years old. But it's just like you had a chance to jumpstart the off season with when we normally see guys that go at the trade deadline are going to go for more than they would in the off season, generally speaking. And they just didn't. They only traded guys that weren't going to be here next year.
Yeah, I think that was the problem was, like you said, if you look around, it was everybody that was dealt was on an expiring contract. Um, they were also, I would say, outside of Maton, like, if I mean Matt's what hey, we could look at the Matt's trade. That could be great. I don't know, love the name. Blaze Jordan's a great baseball name. But even Helsley, like, as good as he is, was not as having a dominant of a year as he's had in the past. But my question just goes back to when we talked last time, Lars Nootbaar. Like, obviously, there was probably no one for Arenado, if we're going to be really
There
honest with
wasn't.
you. So I mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt. There wasn't much Mo or Heimblum could do on that one. But even looking forward, and I know that you don't agree with this, but even Brendan Donovan or Alec Burleson or Nolan Gorman or something
Lars
like
Nootbaar.
do what?
Lars Nootbaar.
I said Newbar first, but yes, I agree. Like, again, you and I were texting back and forth earlier, and maybe there was no market for those guys. The hitters that were traded, I mean, outside of Correa, and we'll go through all of those. Like, we'll talk about Seattle, obviously what Seattle did, but Stephen Kwan's still a Guardian. Like, I just wonder what it just seemed like this was definitely arm heavy. And the Cardinals really, if we want to be honest, only had three to offer. You could argue JoJo Romero, and I would agree with that. So you could say they had four to offer. I think they messed that one up by probably not trading him. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what that came down to,
I do. They wanted to have a guy that can help them close out games for the rest of the year, so fans don't completely lose interest.
because that matters.
I mean, it does to the guy who's making money if fans come to the games.
So can we
Yes, that's
play a
what I
little?
think he's doing.
I'm not saying that that's not our people who I'd love to know the show of hands. Who's going to Busch Stadium to watch JoJo Romero close out baseball games in a
No,
game
that's
that
not what I'm
means
saying.
absolutely nothing?
But if you don't have a guy that can even get out in the ninth inning, then you're going to lose a lot of games, and then no one's going to come.
Caleb, I'm going to tell you something, buddy. No one's going to the games
Why are
anyway.
you
The
acting like
NFL
this is
starts
my
tonight.
logic? This isn't
The
my
NHL
logic.
starts soon. NBA will start
Dad,
soon.
you're not
College,
listening. This is
I
not
get
my
it.
logic. This is what Katie Wu reported they were doing.
But what I'm saying is that then if that is the case, right? If there is even an ounce of truth to that, which Katie is usually spot on, so there probably is, then they are beyond tone deaf to what is happening in St. Louis and with their own organization. And we're in a way worse shape than what I even imagined.
I just, I guess I don't even care to talk about the returns on these guys. To be quite honest, I don't know if any of these guys are going to be good. Like Blaze Jordan could end up being really good. Which, by the way, I called that last night, right when I saw that's where Matz was killing. Because, well, no, I'm just saying because Blaze Jordan was like the guy they wanted for Arenado in the offseason, and that's what ended up happening.
Was that a
But
Bloom draft pick?
yeah,
Okay, I assumed.
um, and he's fine. Like he might just be Luke and Baker's replacement, or might be more. We don't know. And then the rest of it, I just don't know enough to be able to sit on here and tell you. I do know that what people are saying is they're targeting fastball dominant starters right now, guys that that's their best pitch. I like that
Yeah.
because generally speaking, the Cardinals, like what Cardinal pitcher right now has a good fastball, like starter?
Is it Dome? Is that how you pronounce it? Right, the kid that they got
Yeah,
back. He was good at Mississippi State. Now you can argue that's college. I
I
understand
don't
that,
care.
but it is the SEC, and there are guys who have been good in the SEC who have gone on to have pretty good success in Major League Baseball.
Every single college kid that gets drafted was good in college.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm talking about in the SEC. He was good.
All
I
right,
don't
well,
care
every
if you're
single
good.
SEC
I
kid
don't
that was
care if you're
good.
good at Lindenwood. No offense to people
Okay,
who went to
sorry, every
Lindenwood.
single SEC pitcher that's drafted was good in college.
That's not true, but
Most of
I mean,
them.
I just saw two guys this year from LSU get drafted who had over 5 ERAs because they throw 100 like over throw
Okay,
104 mile or
most,
100 miles per
most I
hour.
should say then.
So that's not
But
actually true.
But yeah,
But
I mean, I just don't even like care about their returns. To me, the story of this deadline isn't about what they got. We'll see if that ends up being good. And the honestly, the returns don't matter to me unless the player development is actually improved, and we'll see. Like I'm assuming Heimblum had a massive hand, if not was the final say in who they were acquiring. So we'll see if the guys he's put in place to develop these guys can do what he thinks they should do with the guys he brought in. But to me, the story is once again, you had an opportunity to do something more than just the minimum, and they just once again did not do it. And I don't
I'd
even want to
argue
give
they,
him the benefit of the doubt and say none of these guys were getting any kind of offers for them because I just don't think that's realistic.
yeah, I agree. I mean, we did see some outfielders go. We saw, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but we saw Bader go. We saw some other guys go there. I don't know what those returns look like either. So I'm not trying to speculate, but it just felt like maybe we could be more aggressive. And again, maybe they tried. I mean, if you're going to give them the benefit of the
Doesn't sound
doubt,
like they tried.
I don't know that answer.
Did you hear
But
anything that said that they were shopping any of those
I
guys?
mean, yeah, there were the reports early today that they were listening to are engaged in talks with potentially Burleson, Donovan, and
Not, no, that's
Newbar.
not what they said. They said they were listening.
Listening. Okay, well there you go.
Which
So
once
that means
again,
they
we talked
were.
about this last episode. You should listen on every single person on your
Yeah,
team.
we agree.
But
So,
hold on, let
but
me
now
let me
maybe their
find
move
this.
is maybe the here's the thing. I really do wonder this, and maybe you can address this more than I can. Maybe they didn't want to move one of the pieces of the roster for next year until Heim Bloom does take over. Like I wonder if because we heard that it's a team effort right now, and they're double teaming it essentially out there. But maybe they wanted. I don't know that answer.
Which that once again doesn't make any sense. Talk to the guy and see if he wants Newt Bar to be here or not. And maybe
Does
he
seem that
does.
way, but we're talking about someone who you just told me wants Jojo Romero to close out games so people will go to them.
No, John Mozak's not the one that would want that.
Neither would Hein Bloom.
Right. Who pays the bills and who makes money off of this?
Well, then we are screwed. Then
Well,
we are
like it's
beyond
an
screwed.
ownership business. Like we all know that. That Bill DeWitt runs the show. He has the final say on everything the Cardinals do.
And if he wanted, I'll never. I'm not going to get into it
I'm not
again
saying
because
that he
that's
thinks Jojo Romero is going to bring people to the stadium. I think he thinks Jojo Romero, Lars Nootbaar, and the combination of all these guys could keep them in competition until September. And if they're in the, and that's what I mean. I'm assuming that's what he thinks. Like
so
that's
you dealt.
probably
Hold on. So you dealt your top two relievers
because
and
you
your
had to.
closer, and you're hoping that Jojo Romero and others who haven't kept you in competition
I
for the
mean, they
last
are.
month and a half are going to now miraculously do so.
I don't understand what you're not understanding. They had to trade those guys because there's no sensical way to talk your way out of that. They can talk their way into keeping Jojo Romero and Lars Nootbaar because they have them past this year.
I get it. I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying I think some layers of flawed
It's
logic with this
dumb,
ownership.
but that's
Yes.
what they think,
Yeah, we agree.
or he
But you're right.
thinks.
As far as the prospects we get back, I hope they're all awesome. I hope they become all superstars and we see them in big league uniforms and we see them in all-star games and we see them competing in the playoffs. Chances are we're not.
Okay, let's not be all negative because that's
Well,
just
I mean, I
dumb. We
think
don't
that's
know
just
what we're gonna
numbers. I'm
be
not
when
being negative. I'm saying that's the chances are
that
we won't.
that we won't see them like being all stars.
Yes,
Oh yeah, probably not. I mean, that's a chances for every single prospect that's ever
that's
out
my
there.
point. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying.
yeah. I mean, I don't even like care about that. Like, I don't know how to like explain the way I'm feeling right now. I don't really care if Jesus Baez becomes something good
I
because at this,
do. I hope he becomes
no, I
like
hope he is good. But what I'm saying is, I think it's kind of going overlooked because they're in this situation that the St. Louis Cardinals for the second time in 3 years, went into a deadline where they had to trade away people. That should never be the case. They should be the team out there looking for Ryan Helsley, a guy like that. And you know what makes me frustrated even more is I know that if they were a good team this year, they wouldn't have made a move to get a guy like Ryan Helsley.
Is it only second and third, or is it third and fourth in 4 years?
They haven't. They've
Three.
only sold twice.
They didn't sell in 23
That they did, and then in 2025,
and last year.
they got Eric Fetty last year.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
So but that's what's frustrating to me is like I don't think even if the Cardinals were like on pace to win 95 games that they would have made any move that would have excited anyone.
No, I don't either. I don't. Do you want to go? Do you want to just like put the Cardinals in the rearview mirror for a little bit and go around the league? Because there were some exciting moves made over this
But
last
no,
few
we have
days.
to. I want to give our due to the people that are departing,
Okay,
because
fair.
I think we should do that.
Should we hold on? Moment of silence.
For who?
The three guys that we lost.
Well, I'll do a moment of silence for Ryan Helsley. The other two, I don't really care.
Okay. Shh. All right.
Okay, that's enough. Um, so let's start with the guy that I think everyone's probably most sad about losing, except for people that for some reason convinced himself he wasn't good. Ryan Helsley is one of the best relief pitchers to ever put on a Cardinal uniform. Not the
Yes.
best, but he's top five, maybe top. I probably.
10.
Well, I mean, we could go down the list, but he's not that. I mean, obviously you have guys like Bruce Sutter and Lee Smith and guys like that, Jason Isringhausen, but he's in the conversation for top five.
Correct. We agree.
He's had like his single seasons that were his best years last year and 2022 are in the conversation for the greatest relief pitching seasons in Cardinal baseball history. He's up there in
Yes.
all those conversations.
We agree.
Also, to me, the coolest thing that I've ever seen at a Cardinal game while being at one, outside of like specific events like walk-off home runs and things, is his entrance and what they were able to do with Hell's Bells. It's really sad to me that we're seeing him go because he didn't want to leave. Like, how rare is it for the Cardinals to have an elite player in the first place at these days? But then to have that guy that's just so adamant about wanting to be here and wanting to embrace Cardinal baseball. He grew up as a Cardinal fan. Um, I I think that it's really sad that we got to this point with him because I don't think it should have ever happened, and it was completely out of his control why he's gone. But I think we can all, I'll speak for you, I think, when I say it's been a ton of fun to watch Ryan Helsley go from the guy that in the bullpen seemed to not know what was going on most of the time and was really struggling to throw strikes early in his career. Kind of was a fireman early in his career before he had some injuries, and then ascend to the best closer the Cardinals have had in my lifetime.
Agreed. I agree with that. I think it's also you talked about the people who think he's not good. That's hilarious. Like it's impossible to take what they say seriously. But there's also those people out there who thought, not because I saw it, who thought he shouldn't have been traded, which also I don't truly
Well, I mean, that's such a minority. It's not even worth
understand, right?
mentioning.
But my question for you is now with JoJo the closer, will they do the cool light show with like Get Back by the Beatles since it starts off with like JoJo was a man who thought he was a loner?
I think he gets to pick his walk-in song.
Do you
And I
think
don't
that's
think
what it
that's
should be though? We should do we can flash John and Paul and George and Ringo. By the way, shout out.
I think that's a crime to flash them.
Well, you know what I mean. And up on the screen, we can do a whole Beatles montage there, maybe.
No, I don't think that JoJo has
Okay.
earned that, to be honest. But I do think for
No,
Ryan
I'm with
Helsley,
you on the Helsley thing. It's sad to see him go. I'm honestly cautiously optimistic that maybe he's a Cardinal in 2026.
I
You
think
think what you think that cat's out of the bag, and once he's gone, once the toothpaste is out of the tube, it ain't coming back.
I don't think. Well, they weren't even willing to discuss an extension with him at any point, based on what I have read. And like, unless I could be wrong, they could have had discussions and just the number was too high. But I never heard anything about them even talking to him about an extension. So I don't know why I would assume now if he's on the open market where the price is almost certainly going to go up, he's no longer going to have a qualifying offer attached to him because he can't get
Right.
one anymore. So that's like that. I was thinking yesterday, the only way I think they could have gotten him back if he were to go to free agency before an extension. I mean, without getting an extension, obviously was if they gave him a qualifying offer and he turned it down, and then that scared some teams away because there was a draft pick attached to him. I just think like if we keep talking about the Cardinals' lack of spending. If that's still the case and it's still like not they're not spending all that much, I don't think Heim Bloom, who's a guy that's worked in organizations where he's had to be pretty conservative with the money he's given out and who he gives it out to. I don't think he would choose to spend that on a
I
closer.
agree. And let me also ask you this, and I know that you are probably one of the largest Ryan Helsley fans I know. Like I will say that without a doubt. All right. Um, Also, I don't know that it's not bad business to not go out and give a big long-term contract to a 31, almost 32-year-old reliever. Like I also like next year, I don't know if that's smart business to do if
Yeah.
you're Heim Bloom and the Cardinals with a lot of question marks going into 2026. I don't know that it's wise to spend top dollar closer money on Ryan Helsley next year. Would I love to have him as a Cardinal? Would I have loved to have seen him retire as a Cardinal? Absolutely. That would have been freaking awesome. But that's not today's game. And I also don't know that that's the long play when you've got a lot of other things that you need to shore up in your organization to go sign a long term guy to be a closer at 32 years old.
I would say it's objectively not a good decision.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad that we're
Um,
in the same boat.
Now
Like I said, I'd love to have you back, but
my subjectivity tells me that I want to watch Ryan Helsley pitch for the Cardinals again. So
you
that's
just
where
want to hear Hell's Bells, bro. You can turn it up. It's on Apple
no, I
Music.
want to watch our closer throw 103 and then throw a slider from hell that makes everyone look stupid. That's what I want to watch. Now,
Where would you put his entrance in the top sporting entrances out there?
I'll just go with baseball because I don't even know what the like. I'm not gonna put him. I don't know how to compare him to Ray Lewis. Like I so
No,
I'm
yeah,
good.
well, that's not coming into music. Like, where would you put his?
I don't know. Like I think the thing that would drag it down for me is that it wasn't only his song. Like Trevor
Correct. That
Hoffman
we
made it
agree.
famous. Now that doesn't mean I was like I still thought it was awesome. Like I thought Johan Duran, who also got moved, I thought his was really cool in Minnesota. Felix Bautista's is really cool, obviously with the whistle
Timmy
from the wire.
Trumpets.
And then obviously I think Edwin Diaz is probably number one in baseball because he kind of started this whole thing.
Well, I mean, no, that's wrong. Mariano Rivera coming in to enter
Yes, okay.
Sandman.
He started the new trend of it.
Trevor Hoffman, Hell's Bells. I will tell you the answer. The answer is the coolest one in sports is in Blacksburg, Virginia, when Virginia Tech comes in on game
That's
night.
so different than a
That
closer
is
coming
the
into a
coolest
baseball game.
sporting entrance of all time.
I
And
agree,
I
but
know the jump around in Wisconsin is super cool, but there I'm going to a game at one day in Blacksburg, Virginia on a Saturday night just to experience that.
okay, I agree with you, but that is just not comparable to a closer coming into a one of 162
Okay, then
baseball
I'm going to
game.
go with Hoffman or Mo, but I
I
think
mean,
that
it's Mo then. Like Mo's the
Helsley's was
answer if you're
cool,
going
right?
all time.
I think Timmy Trumpets is pretty sweet. I We agree that there's some really cool. I also shout out to the sports that for me like I like the creativity that we're doing. Like let's have the entrances be a big deal. Like I like that. I'm a big fan of that. Phil Maton, Mo's last signing
And last
and
trade.
Mo's last trade. Seems like there's a I don't know a bittersweet like connection in there somewhere.
And he was the best of the three players that were traded this year. Far and away. Like he was awesome for the Cardinals. Like that was if the Cardinals were a playoff team this year and everything else didn't suck that was going on right now, including the offense and starting pitching, that would have been probably the best free agent signing of the year in terms of value for $2
Yeah, I
million.
agree.
So
And I don't know, you said it earlier, I don't know what Blake Jordan becomes, but the fact that they got a guy at 22 years old who seems to have a little pop, he doesn't strike out at all, does hit the ball evidently in the infield way too often.
mhm.
Like I did read
He's
that,
got
but that's
problems.
also that's missed barrels, right? So that's little things that can potentially be shored up. Like I don't think he's probably done that his entire life. Um, but that they got that for him for Steven Matz is, I mean, I think it's not a bad risk to take.
I think even if Blaze Jordan and we don't know what he's going to become, he could
No,
become nothing, and that's not a shot at him. That's just the reality of prospects. But if even if he becomes a guy that has one good season as a left-handed bench bat, I mean, as a guy that's facing lefties off the bench, I meant.
right.
Um, then I did not think they were going to get that out of Steven Matz. Like I did
Yeah,
not.
it
Shout out
is
to Steven
hilarious
Matz,
that
by
we
the
were
way.
talking about Luke and Baker's replacement as if Luke and Baker, who, by the way, I've been calling for 3 years now to like be a mainstay up there, but like that is kind of funny.
It's
But
also
hey, that's where we are right now.
there is something to say about the guy that drafted him. Like maybe he sees more in what the Red Sox weren't doing right when he left about developing
Right.
him. Like we don't know. Like he could become an everyday player. Things like that happen, but he also could not. And then at the end of the day, Steven Matz, like we were talking about DFAing Steven Matz like a year and a half ago.
Correct.
So you got at least you got a player that's going to be starting at AAA for him. Like that's enough for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Uh, I mean, I guess the Helsley one I think was kind of underwhelming, just because I think everyone was kind of hoping that they were going to get somebody that you knew, like that other than the guys that were really big into prospects knew. and they didn't. But at the end of the day, I don't know what that market was. I don't know what they were being offered.
I will say you got a 19, 20-year-old shortstop who was in the top 100 prospects coming into this year.
Mhm.
I think he was in the 90s at some point. And then you got two young pitchers who, I mean, from all reports by people I trust, I'm not
Have
saying their
potential.
ceiling is immaculate. I'm saying, though, not bad stuff. Not bad stuff from what they have.
They
And
got
that's
three
what you
guys.
needed to do as an organization.
Yeah, they got three guys that have tools that are exciting. Like that
Right.
doesn't mean them as players are going to be exciting, but they have things that
Correct.
could make them exciting. Like you get a shortstop who, by the way, thick guy. I would be shocked if he ends up being a shortstop in the major leagues unless he like changes everything about himself. But he has a lot of power apparently. Like hits the ball really hard. Doesn't hit a lot of homers, but has raw power. I guess I should say.
20.
Like that's what. Yeah, right. He's 20 years old. We'll see. I mean, who knows? What if he takes off in this year? I don't have any idea. I can tell you, I didn't know who TK Roby and Thomas Ajacey were um, before we traded for them for Jordan Montgomery. So like, who
Right.
knows? And those guys have
I
already
can tell you, and
contributed to
I'm
some
sure you
extent.
knew, but I didn't know who Pete Crow Armstrong was when the Cubs got him. And then last year he was terrible, and I was like, well, this guy's awful.
Oh
And
yeah,
now
I know
he's
who he was.
like, I
He
mean,
was a
that's
little
what
bit
I'm
of a
saying. I
bigger
think
deal,
people knew
but
outside of
yes,
me.
yeah,
Right.
when by the way when it came through and it said Jesus bias or Jesus bias, I'm assuming Jesus. I
I'm
don't.
pretty positive it's Jesus.
I would guess, but I don't know. I'm not gonna assume.
Be really cool if it was Jesus, though.
Would be kind of cool. But anyway, I thought it said Javier Baez at first. I was like, what? Because it said Mets
If
too.
you added a Jesus and a Blaze, then I think Mo's work here is done.
I guess. But shout out to Kyle Reese who knew about who they were getting back before Jeff Passan knew. He
All
tweeted out
right.
Mason's middle name. Mason's middle name is Blaze, and I sent him the tweet that I said where I was like incoming Blaze Jordan to the Cardinals, and I said we're on the same wavelength. He was like, no, I actually got told that this is what's happening. I was like, oh okay, fine, big league me then, Kyle. I was just guessing.
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, let's go a little bit around the league then, because it was a pretty, especially today. I mean, to me, one of the busiest trade deadlines I can remember in a long time. You let's go. I don't want to go deal by deal, but let's kind of look at the playoff teams and go team by team a little bit.
Okay.
Let's start out west, and then we'll work our way eastward. The I think both divisions, yeah, Western divisions, NL and AL, got dramatically more interesting today. And we can start up in the Pacific Northwest with the team that I tend to root for in the American League, the Mariners. By adding, we talked a little bit about Josh Naylor, but by going out and get Cal Raleigh, I mean, that you look at that lineup, Cal Raleigh. I mean, you and Suarez to add behind Cal Raleigh. You look at that lineup for all of a sudden the Mariners can hit.
Yeah. I don't know because I've seen Eugenio Suarez in Seattle before, and he indeed, in fact, could not hit there. So we'll see. I mean, I like the moves because they're trying, and I think both of those guys are way better than what they had for sure, and it makes their lineup a lot deeper. I think I always find it funny when we see trades like this, where a team makes two trades with the other team and does them separately? Like, were they talking about both at the time when they made the Josh Naylor trade? Why
That's what I
didn't you
said
just
last time.
why didn't you just include both players and just send all the players back? Like, what was the deal here? I did see though that Seattle stopped their plane and didn't tell any of the players why. And then Eugenio Suarez walked onto it, and they all started like cheering and hugging him, which I thought was awesome.
Big
But no,
fan,
like
big clubhouse guy. Like people love him.
yeah, and he was obviously there before like, a couple years ago. Uh, he's a guy, by the way, that I don't think this is gonna happen. But what happens if he reaches 500 home runs?
I know it's going to be interesting.
I
It's
mean,
going
he's
to be
not a Hall of
interesting.
Famer.
I
He's not.
the numbers say he is.
Have you ever thought, man, Eugenio Suarez, top five third baseman in baseball?
No, I haven't.
That he's not a Hall of Famer?
But maybe I should have.
No.
Either way, let's get back to I think when you look at I mean, the Mariners starting pitching is getting healthy. Like Kirby's back. Castillo's been okay. Brian Wu is a stud. They've got oh my God, who's the fourth guy I'm forgetting? Logan Gilbert. And the
Their best
bullpen is
starter.
very good. That team is formidable. And what can I tell you something that really made me laugh yesterday after the trade? I was
Mm.
watching at work. I was watching ESPN because we don't have MLB Network because we have we have YouTube TV at work. So I had to watch ESPN, which is a nightmare. But either way, Buster Olney says, I can picture on Game one of the World Series, Ichiro throwing out the first pitch. Bro, have you heard of a guy named Junior? Like, do you think that if there's game one in Seattle of the World Series, that the guy not throwing out the first pitch is not what are we doing? What are we doing, ESPN?
I mean, maybe his thought process was because Ichiro's in the Hall of Fame this year.
Then game two, fine. But if game one, the Mariners are in the World Series for the first time ever, and the guy throwing out the first pitch is not Ken Griffey Jr., they're dead to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely the
How
guy
would you
when you think of Seattle baseball, it's Ken Griffey Jr. and
There's
really nobody's a
one
close second.
guy. Oh, I was like, okay, this is what ESPN has become. But that one got me a little bit. So let's stay in the AL West a little bit because what the Astros did today was fucking awesome. I am pumped for Carlos Correa, who said there I wanted to stay in Minnesota. I told them I would work with them on a trade if it went to where I wanted to go, and there was one place that I would go, and that was Houston. I got a lot of friends down here who are Astros fans, as that is the closest major league team to us down here in New Orleans, and they are pumped right now for Carlos Correa coming back to Houston.
Yeah, the Astros like to do this apparently. They did that with Verlander a couple years ago. It's cool because like it feels like when we think back at Carlos Correa's career, I think we're gonna think of two things. One, we're gonna think that he probably should have been maybe better than he's gonna end up being, because he just had some injuries that have really hurt a couple of his seasons. Saying that, by the way, he has 44 career WAR, which I did not know, so he might be on that Hall of Fame track too if he has a couple
Yeah,
more good years. But also, we're gonna think, man, what was that weird blip where he wasn't in Houston? Like, wait, he signed with the Giants, right? But then he like didn't actually because they didn't like his they didn't like his physical. Then he went to the Twins. Then he went to the Twins again. Like, why did he do that? Like, I think that's what we're gonna think. And it's gonna be like, oh yeah,
agreed.
he was a Houston Astro. Like that's what he was. So I'm glad he's back. I will shout out this person on Twitter that really made me laugh today. There's this picture of, I'm assuming it was someone had gotten cheated on by their husband and found out while he was away for the weekend or something. And they had like a big sign in their yard that said "Welcome home, cheater." And they quote tweeted Carlos Correa to the Astros with that picture.
Oh
And I thought that
Jesus,
was amazing. That made me laugh really hard.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Welcome home, cheater. That's
I
great.
mean, you're getting Jeremy Pena back this week, and the one thing that they've been, I mean, obviously the Astros, just like so many teams, but they have been really ravaged by injuries, losing Pena. They've lost Altuve for a while. Alvarez has been out. Now Paredes is out for 7 weeks. Christian
No,
Walker's
months.
months. Sorry, 7 months. That's what I meant. Alvarez, or I mean, Christian Walker's now starting to hit. It just feels like you're getting Pena back. You're adding Correa to that lineup. You also go out and you get Jesus Sanchez. They desperately needed some pop from the left side. So I mean, I think that's pretty solid moves by right there by the Houston Astros.
Yeah, what's new? They're gonna be good. They're gonna have a chance to win the World Series.
Okay, well that
Apparently, they
is
really
true.
wanted Joe Ryan too. That didn't happen. The Red Sox really wanted Joe Ryan. Apparently, almost got him and did not get him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see?
Um,
They tweeted that out about like Joe Ryan to the Red Sox, and then afterwards, one of the big Red Sox beaters, Chris Cotillo, beat writers, tweeted
beaters.
out from my sources, the Red Sox were never close to acquiring Joe Ryan. So they
um,
just tweeted it out for fun. I don't understand.
the third team who seems to be going for it there, and the Angels made a few moves, and also I was surprised they didn't deal Kenley Jansen. I thought, I thought that was. I'm glad he's on my fantasy team, but I thought he might be a guy with the reliever haul. That felt like a very Angels move to make was to deal Kenley Jansen, but they did not. So I was intrigued by that. He has 20 saves this year.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're buying.
Now, I'm not sure what they're doing either, but that's okay. At least they're not 48 games out or whatever. But the Rangers add Maton, and who else am I missing?
Starter. I don't remember who it was.
Merrill
Oh,
Kelly.
Merrill Kelly. Yeah.
Merrill Kelly. Probably the two things that the Rangers needed. The one thing they need to do is just start getting some offensive production from guys who have hit in the past. I think. I mean, I think that's number one. And Corey Seager needs to stay healthy.
Yeah. Sorry, John Mozeliak just commented on something.
One of your posts.
No, he commented
One.
on like he made a comment to the media. Which I'll say we can get to in a second. Yeah, Corey Seager's been really great lately though, but I just don't think the Rangers are gonna. I don't think they're as good as the other two teams in the division. I just don't.
I don't think so either. But I mean, I like that at least they're going for it.
I'm sorry. Can I tell you this John
Yeah,
Mozeliak
please
quote?
do.
Because
Please
it's
do.
Mozeliak says the team would have needed to be blown away to move any controllable talent, and they weren't. Cardinals were, he said, hit hard for their left-handed bats. Kyle Reese quote tweeted it with a lot of ha ha ha's, and then what are we doing?
Oh,
And I will
Jesus,
retweet
bro.
that.
It's just, he
Uh,
has no clue. He has no
so
clue.
so hold on, I'm just confused here. You have to be blown away. Okay, makes sense. Kind of, not really, but kind of makes sense. But they were also hit hard. But you weren't blown away by the hard hitting they were doing.
Right. Right.
What does this mean? Like
I
maybe it means that everyone that wanted a left-handed bat from them were targeting Burleson and Donovan, and they didn't want to move those two.
I mean, it
But
could
like
be.
you were just talking about Houston, I can't imagine they wouldn't have rather had Lars Nootbaar than Jesus Sanchez.
Yeah, I would agree. But I also don't know what they had to give up. Like, I just
Well,
don't know.
true, obviously, but I'm
Right.
just saying like the Dodgers traded for Alex Call. Like I'm sure that
But
they had a shockingly quiet
I
deadline, by the way.
also think, like, just to throw a little wrench in your thing there, I think they wanted a center fielder. I don't know if they view Lars Nootbaar as a center fielder, and though we've talked on here before
Jake
that he,
Myers is their center fielder.
yeah, but they're talking about Sanchez playing there, right? Isn't that what I heard? Or is
I
he going to
wouldn't
play
think
right?
so. He's not very good
Okay, okay,
defensively.
maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I read it wrong. Yeah, I don't know the answer. Seems like Brendan Donovan would have been a great move to Philly, to the
No, I
Yankees, to
know,
the
but like that.
Padres.
See, like he's the one that I want to bring up because he's the one that's most defensible not to trade. The other
I get
ones
it.
though,
I get it.
like
Yes.
I want to be looking to trade Burley, but like you have a log jam of guys kind of like Burley, other than the fact that he's a slightly better hitter and left-handed. Like if you can capitalize on that, is Alec Burleson going to make or break your franchise in 2 years? I don't think
No.
so.
No.
Like I don't get it, but whatever. We can move on.
Yep. All right, well, let's get to the NL West, where the Padres were obviously once again AJ Preller. Like he's got probably a phone indentation into his hand from the amount of like radiation that they puts into there. Maybe both hands. He's probably got the two phones going. That's the way he operates. But the big one, Mason Miller, for the number 3 prospect in baseball. I mean, for the A's, I was shocked at the beginning that they traded Mason Miller. Then you saw the haul they got. There is no doubt they are building young hitters to go to Las Vegas. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, and Leo DeVry or DeVry, I've never
We don't
known,
know.
but he's a stud. Like he's
Yes.
legitimately a switch hitter, I believe. Could be wrong. I think he's a switch
19?
hitter. Yeah, I mean, he's number 3 prospect in baseball for a reason.
Yeah.
AJ Preller hates prospects. We know that. You know what I was thinking? Like, I do applaud AJ Preller, especially in a franchise like San Diego, which has never won a World Series. Like, that to me gives you extra incentive to say, this World Series would mean so much more than having James Wood with a statue outside of or whoever it is they would
Agreed.
trade.
Absolutely.
I applaud that. But I think in 5 years, if the Padres don't win a World Series, because if they do, then no one's really going to care. We're going to look at the players they traded and say, could you imagine if they had a season with all of these guys
I know.
and
I
the guys
know.
they currently have?
Yep.
Like that Juan
Agreed.
Soto trade already to me looks bad.
Yeah. Well, I
It,
mean, they didn't win a World Series, so it probably is.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like I don't know.
Right.
I think when you go all in like that, you have to almost, and that sounds weird because it's so hard to do, and there's so much luck involved in winning a World Series. Like the team they lost to that season only got there because Ryan Helsley was injured and
Right.
hurt his finger in a fluke incident. Like
Yep.
there's so much luck involved. But when you trade away, like look at the guys they've traded away.
But can I
Only
ask you
good players on the
something?
Nationals are from the Padres.
If you were a fan of the Padres, wouldn't you love it?
I think it would be the most. I think the trade deadline would be both the most stressful day every single year, but also the most exciting.
Agreed. I
And the
mean,
thing that's so good about
I
it,
posted earlier. I was like, man, oh man, remember the days when we traded for Will Clark and Larry Walker?
or
Like
like even
Chris
Matt
Farley, like
Holliday.
that was awesome. Those were like I missed those days.
Yeah, Matt Holliday, like John Lackey was a really cool
Yeah,
move at the time. Like those
yeah,
weren't
yeah.
as big
John
as
Lackey,
a
absolutely.
Juan Soto, obviously, but those were
Yep.
still moves that
I mean, even
got you in the
McGuire
game.
in '97. No, 90. Where did we go get him? 96. No, 90, no, 97. 97, we went and got McGuire. We didn't make the playoffs that year, but at least that was exciting to add Mark McGuire to your like roster. Then obviously we saw what he did in 98. So
What
yeah,
did he do in
I get it.
'98?
Like
Was it
I mean,
significant?
it would be unbelievable to have something like that happen. Then the one thing you and I addressed on here was their offense. Then they go out and get Ryan O'Hearn and they get Ramon Laureano. So I mean, I think that adds a lot of length to that lineup, no
Mhm.
doubt about it. I mean, and then
Ryan
you go
O'Hearn might
get
be their
Nestor
3 hitter.
Cortez,
Yeah, I think.
which was a little odd to me, but gives some
I
depth at the
mean,
start. And also, you held on to Dylan Cease, by the way. So
yeah. Why were they? I don't understand a team that's looking to move so many prospects they would be looking to also trade one of their
I
rentals.
think that's what he likes to do, which I love about him is he likes to do both. He likes to play both sides of it. You can deal like when you get a Mason Miller, that they were shopping hard, evidently, Robert Suarez, because it's I don't know if he's on an expiring contract or not, but Dylan Cease is. So I think if you could have added someone, maybe if you could have added, let's say, a Joe Ryan, or you could have added someone not maybe to even his level, but a little bit below it, I think
Joe
Dylan Cease was
Ryan.
on the way out. Do you
I
know what
don't
I
think they
mean?
have enough prospects to trade for Joe Ryan
But
after
that,
what
but
they
that's
did.
what he does. Like that's what I'm saying. You deal Suarez and you deal Dylan Cease, you repopulate some of those prospects. They obviously have a great developmental system there in San Diego, and a great drafting, and a great like everything they do. Seems they're very good in the international market. So I mean, they have success, and they know that success is there. So that's what I mean. I give them massive props to utilize those guys to help your big league route. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and it's also like to me the most impressive part about the Padres, outside of the fact that AJ Preller just wants to go for it all the time, is that they constantly have enough guys to go for it. Like
Correct.
how
I
many teams would
agree.
be able to trade all those guys for Juan Soto, and then now what 3 years later be able to do have a deadline like they just had?
No, I agree 100%.
Like the Cardinals wouldn't even be able to weren't like didn't have enough to trade for Juan Soto at all.
No, right,
And
right,
they don't
right.
and right now still having not even done that, they probably don't have enough to trade for Mason Miller.
Um, were you surprised that the Dodgers traded, and let's go ahead and get to the Dodgers now, that they traded Dustin May to the Red
No.
Sox? Were you surprised by that?
I'm not surprised that they traded Dustin May to the Red Sox. I'm surprised that's all the Red Sox did.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Dustin May to me is one of those guys that I hope this is wrong, and I hope maybe he finds some health the next 3, 4, 5 years and has a good year. I mean, has a good couple years because he's so talented. But he's just like one of those guys. That's like, man, how did this never work out?
right.
Because his sinker is one of the like single nastiest pitches I've ever seen.
The Dodgers got an outfielder. I can't think of his name from the Twins. What was his name?
They got Alex Call from the
Alex.
Nationals,
Oh, Nationals. Sorry, from the Nationals. Yep.
which they did
But other than
nothing.
that,
Were you
you just
surprised?
think that for the Dodgers, like you're just looking at, hey, let's just get healthy. Like,
Yeah, but that's
I
every year
mean,
for them. They never get healthy.
we agree, but I kind of thought for sure that the Stephen Kwan to the Dodgers was going to happen. I'll be honest.
Why were the Guardians even considering moving Stephen Kwan?
I don't know, but that was like, I mean, that was the hot thing that I was hearing from everyone, and
Yeah,
I
I
was
just
like,
don't
for sure, he's
understand.
going to the Dodgers.
I just don't understand why the Guardians would move Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, interesting.
Are they ever gonna just like have good players and keep them, other than Jose Ramirez?
Well, I think what I read, and I don't know if this is real, so take it with a grain of salt because it was on the internet. But what I read was essentially the Class A thing just kind of pushed their like we're not going for it now once everything happened with
Yeah, but
him.
doesn't Kwan have like 3 years of service time left?
I don't know that answer. I did not look up his contract.
He
I
hasn't been
feel
up
bad
very
for Jose
long.
Ramirez. Jose Ramirez deserves to be somewhere like in the playoffs every year, and he was last year. They got to the ALCS. So to be fair, they are only a year removed from the ALCS. They dealt Bieber. That pitching just not didn't really materialize this year. They've had some injuries. Their offense is always up and down. I think we know that here in St. Louis. So I just think it was one of those things where they were looking to see what they could get to maybe replenish at the farm system, and it just wasn't out there.
Yeah, and Stephen Kwan's a really good player, and I like him a lot. I just don't think he's that guy that you give up your farm system for.
No, well, the Dodgers have an elite farm system, so I'm sure they
Yeah, I
could
mean
give up
they'd be the
something.
one that could do it, obviously, but I just
Yeah.
don't think
Well, the
even
one
then
name I
like
heard was Rushing, and that's their catcher.
yeah, he's good. I like him.
Yeah, that was the name I had heard, like in that people were floating out there.
And with Will Smith, it would have made some sense. But even then,
Correct.
like, is he better than Bo Naylor? I don't know.
I don't know that answer either. I don't know that
They
answer
could be
either.
the
All
same
right, let's get
player.
to the NL or the AL Central because really nobody did much of anything except I love that the Tigers went out and got Charlie Morton. So I do like that. I think that I mean he's
Hey,
pitching very
Morris,
well.
he's awful.
He's been looking his last few games. He's been pretty good.
I know, but we talked about this with Eric Fetty. Why are you
I
buying
get it,
it?
but I mean Charlie Morton does have playoff success.
He does.
Like there is no doubt about that. And
But I think
he's
if you're
not going to be your
starting,
number one. You've got
no, but
Skubal, you've got Casey Mize, you've got Flaherty. Like this just gives you another option out there like that. I don't mind that move at all, but I don't think I were you a little surprised that they didn't do more? Like you
no. I
think
think they
they
were in
still
on
view themselves
Suarez.
as a couple years away?
No, I don't think that. I just think they were in on Suarez and he wasn't out there. And then they're who like looking at it, like obviously you could say, well, maybe they should have gotten Camilo Doval, but their bullpen's one of their strong suits. Like they could have gotten a guy like him. I mean, not him specifically,
Right.
but I just don't like. What did they need? Like they there weren't any. Was there a great starter moved? No.
No, no.
Mackenzie Gore still out there. That's a guy, by the way, in the off season. If the Cardinals want to make a trade, that's a guy I'd be
If the
interested in.
if the Nationals are looking to move him, yes.
Which I think they were. But by the way, why are they? Just have that guy be your guy. Like, what are we doing? But I just don't. I don't think the Tigers, there's anyone out there that I'm like, other than some relievers, which everyone could use. I'm like, man, they really should have gone out and got that guy. Like, I'm sure they tried
Right.
on Suarez, but even then, we talked about this last week. I don't know if you're a team that if you're Detroit or any team in a stadium like that, if giving up a lot of prospects for a guy whose sole value on a field is power is makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I get it. Cubs, we surprised they didn't do much.
Yes, that one shocked
Same.
me, and also hilarious. Like, what are they doing?
Taylor Rogers, like, does that move the needle?
No, Taylor Roger got traded twice, by the way, this
I
deadline.
know, I know.
Um,
All in the NL Central, by the way.
I know.
Reds to Pirates to Cubs.
I don't. So this is more newsworthy for the Cardinals. I guess if you're the Cardinals, the one silver lining you have and everything going wrong for you is that the teams in your division are still a joke.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that there are GMs out there who really put all their eggs in one basket, and then when it falls apart, either panic for something on the side, or do you think most GMs operate that way? Like, I wonder if like the Cubs were really going after a starting pitcher. Let's say it was Alcantara, or it was Joe Ryan,
Edward
or it
Cabrera,
was fill in the blank, right? Verlander. I don't know the answer, right? I don't know who they were going for. Mackenzie Gore was the word early, right? Was
right?
Mackenzie Gore they were really in? Is it? Did you say that? Sorry.
No, I didn't.
And then when those like don't come to fruition, and all of a sudden, oh shit, it's 448 or 452. I mean, I'm making that number up, but now we go get Taylor Rogers, like to at least have somebody. Like, do you think that happens, or do you think that's not the way that operates at all?
I'm sure it happens from time to time. Like when you
Right.
make a move, like Mo today, by the way, like made the Maytown move up until the deadline. What happens if the Rangers are like never mind?
Yeah.
Like then
Yeah.
you don't, then you can't make that move.
Yeah.
So
There's got to be plan Bs and plan Cs out there,
yeah, I
right?
would
Like all
assume
the
so.
time, I
But
would
even then,
assume.
like, what happens if your plan B is to go talk to the Tigers and then the Tigers make a different move and they're like, no, we
Right.
don't want
Yeah.
this anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm sure that stuff does happen for me though. Like, if you're the Cubs, and if I'm a Cubs fan right now, I'm absolutely livid because you have Kyle Tucker for one season. Like, you might bring him back. That's possible, but it's as likely, if not more likely, that you don't. And you have PCA having the year of his life, which once again he might do this again. He also could not. It might be more likely he's not this good again and you just don't go out and get anyone like Matthew Boyd's going to be your game one starter in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Right.
Like Matthew Boyd's having a great year, no shade to him, but like that's a guy that you signed to be your number five. This is something
Yeah.
that like their deadline was something that the Cardinals would do, and like the Brewers as well. Brewers, why didn't the Brewers go out and make a trade for a bat?
Yeah. They got what? They get two former Cardinals, Shelby Miller and Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, and Jordan's out for the year, right? He had Tommy John.
Yeah, so that they're gonna try and I guess make a do that with Brandon Woodruff again. I guess you got him back. Mike Yastrzemski to the Royals. Are the Royals? What are they doing? What are the?
I
We didn't talk about the
I don't
Royals.
understand them.
What are they doing?
I don't understand them. They're not in. They're under 500. I don't know what they're doing.
The Reds go get Brian Hayes. I don't understand these Central teams, bro. Is baseball dead in the Central part of the world of the country?
I mean, I think the two best teams in baseball are in the Central, right? Three of the best teams in baseball are in the
Are
Central
they?
divisions. I mean, the Tigers, Cubs, and Brewers are up
Yeah,
there.
but is that real? Do we think that's real?
I mean, with the balance, with the schedule being balanced these days, it has to be.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
So I
But
don't know. I don't understand Cabrian. Cabrian Hayes should be better than he is, but he's just not. So like that doesn't move me at all. He just took on a
somebody
5 year
brought up the
contract.
idea that they made that move to solidify that left side because Ellie is so bad defensively.
Well, he's not bad defensively though.
That's just what I heard on one of the networks today.
There's who said that? Harold Reynolds.
Probably, who by the way is wrong on everything he says. He literally threw a fit for 10 minutes about how Carlos Correa would never move off a shortstop and it was going to cause a problem in Houston. And then literally every person who talked after him said he was going to do that in New York.
In New
He's
York,
already
right?
agreed to do it in Houston. Like, he is fine with it. And Harold didn't know what to, I still don't think that's right. Like, we're telling you, bro.
I mean, he would have said the same thing about A-Rod. Okay, well, you know what? I was wrong. So, okay, Ellie, this is
He's
weird.
bad, right?
So last year, Ellie De La Cruz, I'm just going to use fielding run value because it's an easier way. It's an easy way to understand, even though it's flawed, but it's easier to understand. So it just encapsulates everything you're good at: range, defensive run saved, errors, things of that nature. Last year, he was 94th percentile. So that means he was top 6% of all shortstops at fielding, which is amazing for a shortstop. This year, he's 21st percentile. So not even top 70%. I don't understand how that happens. Like, what happened in a year?
The Cubs, by the way, did add Willie Castro. We didn't say that, so just to
Yeah,
get
I
that
would.
out
Who, by
there.
the way, MLB The Show legend. If you play MLB The Show, his swing is incredible in that
All
game.
right, there we go.
But I do like him, so I just don't. Yeah, so, but I obviously hate that the Cubs got him because I think he's a good player.
I
But
would say by far the NL East winner was the Mets, right? I mean, what they did with that bullpen. I mean, that bullpen already good, and then you add Helsley. You go out and you get Cedric Mullins, which solidifies. I mean, he's had a great year, and he has defensively been incredible. So you put him out in center field, that solidifies that spot. Um, Got to feel pretty good about what they did, right?
yes, I think they had a really good trade deadline. But I still think the team that I like what they did the most, just because I think they needed less, was what the Phillies did, getting
Right.
Duran. Like I
Yeah.
think they could have used a third baseman, but Bohm is more than fine. I hate all these people that act like he's horrible. He's not horrible. He's not great, but he's not going to kill you playing third base for your team in the playoffs. Um, but Duran is one of the best relief pitchers in baseball.
And
Just
control, right? He had control.
yeah, I think he has 2 more years
Yeah. Also, they
or
went out
one
and
more
got
year.
Harrison Bader. So
Oh
also a
yeah,
sneaky good move
wait,
for
they
them.
did.
Yeah.
Why did I think he went somewhere else? Okay, yeah,
No.
that's a really good move for them.
Yeah, I think that's a really sneaky move because I think
Oh, team
somebody
with
said he
Marsh.
has a higher OPS versus right-handed pitchers than Max Kepler does. So, I mean,
That's not
that's
hard.
gonna that I mean, yeah, Kepler
What
had started
happened?
off pretty well and then he's kind of fallen
I
off.
don't know
But I
what's
think
happened to him.
Bader in left field helps that team a lot.
I think he should play center field.
Well, who's the young kid that plays center
Rojas, and
field?
he's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. They might, who knows? I don't know if they will do that or not.
And then
Um,
I mean, I guess you can platoon them, but you never know.
yeah, I that Mets bullpen's going to be nasty, dude.
Could be. I also think earlier I meant to mention this when we were talking about Ryan Helsley maybe coming back. If Ryan Helsley wins a World Series or goes deep into the postseason, he's dominant. He's not coming back. But if
But
he
yeah,
goes into the postseason, it's really bad, which I don't want for
yeah,
him. I want for the
no, me
Mets, but I
neither.
don't want it for him. Um, then your chances probably go up because it's always that last impression.
Was it that the Met did the Mets make another deal that I'm completely forgetting about or not?
They made a couple. None of them to me, other than the Helsley one, were like insanely noteworthy.
Okay, then maybe I for
But they
some
did
reason
something. They did more. Like they
I
made a
had
couple more moves. Hold on, I'll just go to there.
speaking of bullpen, while you look that up, we can go to the AL East and the Yankees went out and added Bednar and Duvall. Like that, that's a statement right there.
Tyler
Ryan
Rogers.
McMahon, by the way, walk off hit last night.
Yeah, Ryan McMahon. Um, I both of those guys, Bednar and Doval, could be the greatest start relief pitcher you've ever seen for a month, and they could also be the worst you've ever seen for a month.
Absolutely. After last
Oh
night, by the way, did you see the Austin Wells brain fart?
no, I haven't been watching much.
Yeah, so he gets on first, nobody out.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
Jazz bunts. He gets the second. He thought there were two outs. No, there's one out, I guess. He thought there were two outs. Starts walking back. What are we doing? Thank God Ryan McMahon bailed him out. But I thought, hey, the East, by the way, I mean, the East was humming today out there. You got the Yankees making those moves.
I thought they were kind
The
of underwhelming.
yeah, but I mean, just a lot of moves,
Like the
a
Blue
lot of
Jays.
movement. Can you explain the Rays to me at all like I'm five?
No, here's my explanation. I'll give you 3 words. You ready?
Yeah,
They're the Rays.
you trade the guy who leads major or the league in stolen bases,
They got
and then
Griffin Jacks though,
you bring in Griffin Jacks
who I
and you
like a
bring in
lot.
another pitcher. Was it Varland? No, Varland and Ty France go to the Blue Jays. Like
They traded Louis
nothing
Varland.
major, but a lot of moves.
I didn't even know they traded Louis Varland. They also
Yeah,
traded Jose Caballero to the Yankees.
that's what I said. Can you explain that? That's the guy I was talking about. I don't understand it. Did you see?
No, I don't
Did you
understand
see
it.
the embrace in the dugout when he's walking through, giving hugs? And is it what's Wells' first name? The kid for the Rays.
There's a Wells on the Rays.
Walls.
Oh
Tyler
gosh, Taylor.
Taylor. He says you can read his lips. He goes, "Are you kidding me?" When he told him he got traded, I was like, "Oh God." but yeah, then they add pitching.
Trade Taj Bradley.
Yeah, trade Taj Bradley to the. I don't
Which, by the way,
understand.
that's a great move for the Twins. Taj Bradley's good. Griffin
Yeah,
Jax, though, like that's a really good reliever. I don't understand what's going on.
you know what I hate
This
about
deadline
the.
was weird, right? Like
It
none of it
was.
made much sense to me.
Do you know what I hate about it a little bit? Is that you had a bunch of teams that were kind of clogged up there for a while, and now, like, look at the NL. It's literally a 4-team race for the wild card, right? Everybody else is kind of. I mean, but I was shocked the Giants didn't sell more. Like Verlander's still there. I don't really truly understand that.
But no one
They got
wanted
rid of
him, I would
Yastrzemski. They
imagine.
got rid of Duvall. Whatever. Maybe nobody wanted him. But then you look even at the National League. I don't get what the Royals do. The Guardians essentially gave up. Like they're done. The Rays sort of gave up, but then sort of didn't give up. They did hang on to Fairbanks, which I think good move. Oh, who got Kittredge, by the way? That was another trade.
Cubs.
Cubs. That was the other guy that they got. I knew there was somebody else that they got.
That
Um,
sucks. I forgot about that. Why did they bring that
yeah,
up?
yeah. Kittredge. Sorry about that. So we agree, but it does kind of limit the races, I think. Although I do think the American League's going to be really interesting with the 3 teams out west, the teams out east, and I think it's really, unless the Royals do something weird, they brought in a lefty pitcher too to replace
Yeah, I
Bubich.
saw it was a reliever. I just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Who was that? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I should have looked that up before.
I mean,
But
I can't. It wasn't anyone that was. I was like, wow, what a
oh,
move.
the Cubs also added your boy Soroka. So
Okay, like what are they doing? What is wrong with the Cubs?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a wild world out there. But
Like, I
there's
don't understand how you are in the. I don't know if there's ever been a team in the history of baseball that's been more primed to go for it for one season and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, before we get out of here with the trade deadline, just a couple things I want to get your predictions. Who wins the NL West?
Mariners.
So, well, that's the American League,
Oh, you said
but
NL West? I thought you said AL West. Oh,
NL
the
West.
Dodgers.
Okay, they're only 3 games up on the Padres. You don't think the Padres did enough to make up 3 games?
I think that they did enough to make up 3 games on the current construction of the Dodgers. But I think once the Dodgers get
Okay,
healthy, they're going to just pull away like they
okay.
always do.
Who wins? You just said the Mariners. I would agree with that. Although I think the Astros. I think the Astros have a. Do they have a 3-game lead also? So I think that's going to be tough,
I
man.
just don't know
I
about their rotation. Hunter Brown's really good, but other than that, like Framber's hit and miss these days.
I
Like I
thought
don't
they
know.
would try to add another arm, right? Like I thought they
They
were
did,
like,
but it just
yeah,
there were no
right.
starters trade. This deadline was strange, man.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, there were starters, but they were not your high level
Yeah, but they
starters,
weren't
right?
guys that like change your postseason outlook all that
Yeah.
much.
All right. Who wins the National League Central?
The Cubs.
Okay. All right. We're once again sitting here on July 31st, feeling like the Brewers are fugazi, but yet here they are once
They
again with one
are.
of the.
I'm over it. I think they'll
I
be healthy
know,
every year.
but they are. Well, here's what'll happen. They're going to once again have a great year, and they're going to get in the playoffs and fold like a cheap tent because that's
Because
what
they're
the
not
Brewers do.
good.
I don't get it either, dude. They got some sort of magic going up there. You were up there like last year. What's going
That
on?
was
I
like
don't know.
that was like maybe 4 years ago.
Oh, geez, you were up there 4 years.
That was like during the height, like not the height, but like right after the height of COVID. That might have been
Okay,
five
well,
years
never
ago.
mind, never
That was
mind. That's
before
probably
Grace
it,
went
though.
away
You
to
cured
college.
COVID in Milwaukee, and everything has been great since then.
That was before Grace went to college. That's how long ago that
Jesus,
was.
that tells you something. Who wins the AL Central? I think we both agree. Obviously, that's the Tigers, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Who wins the NL East?
Phillies.
Okay, I think the Mets are going to win it.
Boo. Also, we
I
didn't even
get
hit on
it.
this. Ryan Helsley going to the Mets feels like a shot in the
It hurts.
freaking
It hurts a
penis.
little bit. It
Like
hurts a
someone
little
punched
bit.
me in the
Who
dick.
wins the AL East?
The Blue Jays. Can I be honest with you? The AL East isn't good.
It's weird, right? I don't think it's bad. Like, here's the thing.
I
Here's
think
one
the
thing that I
American
will
League is
say.
bad.
I think you can make a case for a lot. I don't think that. I think what's weird this year is there aren't 4 or 5 dominant teams. There are teams that have some good records, and there are teams who have some really good rosters, but neither have really meshed each way. If we want
It
to
felt
look
the
at it
same way
like that.
last year. Like there weren't
Well,
dominant
last
teams last year.
no, I see. I think last year felt like a collision course with the Yankees and the Dodgers. I
It
mean, I think
did, but that
right.
was more to me because I thought the other teams weren't good.
I don't think that feels that like I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers got bounced in the first round or early. Like that wouldn't surprise me. And it's the same with the Yankees, even though I like the Yankees going out there with Fried and Rodon. I mean, I like that, and then I like the back of their bullpen obviously now. But I also like the Dodgers going out there with Yamamoto and Glasnow, and then you've got Otani,
Snell.
Glasnow. What'd I say? Glasnow?
Yeah, I said
Glasnow?
Snell.
Oh, Snell.
They
Okay,
still
I
have
thought
Blake
you were
Snell, which he just hasn't pitched much.
right. So I mean,
Do you
I
think
like that.
what you're saying right now is my reasoning for why I don't think we need a salary cap?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these teams are spending so much money, everyone's freaking out about it, but what's it really providing results wise?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm always pro player and I'm always pro player making as much money as they can. I
That's
just
doing
think at
salary
some
cap.
point the haves and have nots are really separating in baseball.
They're
And if you
not.
do,
You just
they
said they
are.
weren't. The
Well, the
Detroit
Dodgers
Tigers
just
have the
won it
best
last
record in
year.
Major League Baseball.
The Dodgers just won it last year.
Once. Like they're not allowed to. So big market teams can't ever win, or else we have a
That's not
problem.
what I'm saying. And I'm not, again, I don't want to get into this because I'm much more salary floor than I am salary cap.
You
The
can't have
problem
one
is I
without the
don't know
other.
that you can have one without the other. Well, you can have a cap. You don't have to have a floor. But
I mean, you can. The
yes.
owners were just never accepted, obviously.
Also weird that the Pirates did nothing outside of dealing
Is
Cabrian
it?
Hayes. I guess not. Maybe they had nothing that anybody. Well, they no, that's a lie. They dealt Bednar, so they actually did more than what I thought they did.
They should have traded Paul Skeens. I'm not even joking. That could replenish
Could
the
you
entire team.
imagine like the
Why would you
the
not? Like,
media
genuinely, you're
if
not
he
going to
got
keep
traded?
him. I guarantee he does not want to be there. I don't know
No,
him, but
no.
I guarantee he does not want to be
I
there.
feel like I know him.
I know someone that knows him.
Thank you for that. I
A
knew that
second
was
degree
coming.
of second degree of Paul
Of
Skeens over here.
separation. Yeah. All right. Well, now we've got it. There's no more free or waiver wire
What do we
deadlines
talk
to be
about
made.
now?
The rosters are set.
What do we talk about now for the Cardinals for the next months,
I
3
don't
months?
know. We're gonna have to figure that out. Like I'm an Astros fan now, just so you know.
Okay, I'm not,
No, I'm
but
not either because I want the Mariners to win, but I will root for the Astros low key below the Mariners. I want those two to be in the AL Championship Series.
can I ask you a question?
I'm going to a game if they get when the Astros make the playoffs. I'm gonna make your mom go to Houston with me for a weekend. We're going to a playoff game.
Don't do it.
I am. I miss
No,
playoff
I mean don't
baseball.
bring up that we were supposed to go and didn't go. Um,
I wasn't going to, but you brought it up. So
um, do you think
front row
Heimblum's?
Crawford boxes.
Do you think trade deadlines are going to be more exciting with Heimblum than they were with John Mozeliak?
I don't know because you told me earlier in this podcast that it's DeWitt. So why would they be more exciting with Heim Bloom?
I'm talking about in a scenario. Well, if let's say a scenario where they're not selling, so they're buying. Would it be more exciting?
I mean, obviously, it's always more exciting to buy, but it hasn't been exciting like really lately with what we've bought.
That's what
So
I'm saying. Is so would they be? Would he? Do you think he's going to provide more
I,
exciting trade deadlines than John
I'm going to
Mozeliak
go
did?
back to your answer to me earlier that says once again it's Bill DeWitt telling him what to do, which tells me no. The answer is
I
no.
don't. Okay, so I
It's
don't think that's comparable because
J.A. Happ.
I think in this situation, Bill DeWitt's probably saying, "Hey, keep my team at least semi-competitive. That way, if we go on like another winning streak or something in September, we can sell tickets." But I'm saying I don't think when they're buying, I think what he probably does is say, "This is the amount of money you can spend on the players we're bringing in," and then Mo just probably went and did whatever he wanted to do with that money.
Could be. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you right now that if they are planning to put people in those seats in September, no matter what they do, they are so far
I guarantee
lost.
I agree with you, but there was one way to guarantee you weren't doing that, and that's the way they chose not to go.
Which is better for the organization. So
No, I don't
that's where we
disagree with
at.
you,
We're
but
at that crossroads right now, like right here, where I don't know how it gets better here. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said this about 6 years ago, right around when 2018. No, when was the year that we fired Schill?
we fired Schilt in 2021. No,
Okay, so that's not
2022.
the when
Sorry,
was when I meant fired Matheny.
2018.
Okay, that was the year. And I think you and I had this conversation in the basement on our couch that I said, I do believe the dark days of Cardinal baseball are upon us.
You
And
were
you yelled
wrong.
at me to not be so pessimistic.
You were
Now,
wrong.
to be fair, 19, they somehow get in the NLCS and get obliterated by the
They made the
Nationals. I get it.
postseason four
And then
straight
I
years
did
after
not
that.
see Albert Pujols coming back in 2022, which was one of the most fun seasons until it wasn't when we were at the game that ended all of my excitement for Cardinal baseball.
That ruined the franchise.
Yeah, that was it. That one game when what's his name, the guy who you're best friends with his dad
Juan
went
Yepes.
there it is. Went to be from being they almost built a statue of him to the lowest of lows in the matter of 15 minutes.
Because of defensive positioning.
So that's and so I'm concerned about that again, and I don't want to be the pessimist. I'm not trying to
Yes, you
look at
do.
it that way. I'm trying to look at it realistically, and that I just don't, especially with the deadline where Newbar is still here, where Jojo Romero is still here, where Nolan Arenado is still here. where Contreras and Sonny Gray, and I understand they weren't getting traded anyway. I'm just saying, when you look at all those guys, next year is going to look a whole lot like what this year looked like. So next year probably not going to be that great. Then the next year, is it going to get better then? Maybe. I don't know. Do we have like a rapid progression through our farm system of guys? I sure hope so. I don't know. Is Liam Doyle on the team in 27, 26? There's so many questions again with this organization that I just don't trust any of them turn out to be positives right now in the
I've
near
never
future.
I've never seen a team that's gone multiple years, two at least, probably we'll say two to be fair, 2 straight years of saying we got to figure out what we have, and it seems like they've figured out almost nothing,
Yep, agreed.
and that's frustrating. But whatever.
Yep. All right. Well, your mom is just texted me. It said she is hungry. I'm hungry as well. We're going to get tacos and margaritas, I heard.
That sounds good.
Yep, not too bad.
I have
Well,
to
it
take
was
a
an
fast.
interesting deadline. We will be back on Sunday. Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. We got to come up with something to talk about. So no, we'll talk about where we kind of see it heading down the stretch. If there's some guys maybe in the minors we'd like to see get a shot up here, get some playing time. We're gonna see. We got 3 pitchers that are gonna get called up. I mean, right?
JJ
We know
Weatherhold
that's
looks really good. We have that,
JJ Weatherholt looks pretty good. We can talk about him. We can talk about a few of the other guys
I guess.
who will be making their Cardinal debut. Let's see if we can get Kareem or Kyle on. I would like to have them on because I would like to dig a little bit deeper into the draft. That's one thing I'm not great at, and I don't even pretend to be. I know the top guys, but I'd love to get some of their info and their takes on some of the guys the Cardinals do have for the future, because I think as a Cardinal fan, as a Cardinal podcast, as a Cardinal whatever, like the future is what we have to be hoping for and looking at.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hey, they don't call him the whatever in the business for nothing, right? Whatever that line was in Major League. The best color guy in the business for nothing. I knew it, so I lost it for a minute. I'm gonna go get tacos and margaritas before I lose it all the way. Everybody, it was great to be back. We will talk to you soon.
Hold on,
Happy
no.
trade
Stop.
deadline.
You were pointing the wrong way. First off,
No, he was sitting to his right.
you were
Bob
supposed to
Uecker's
be pointing
right.
at me.
Well, yeah, but I was obviously gesturing like the movie.
And
R.I.P. Bob.
you
I
said
couldn't.
nothing.
I
You
couldn't remember
said
the
no-
word. I couldn't remember what he said, but it was color guy, and then it came back. I've seen that movie
Whoa.
400,000 times, and I lost it
Watch
right
out
in the
there. That's
middle
2
of saying
podcasts
it.
in a row now.
Yep, there we go. All right, we will talk to you soon. Go Cards.